Hey guys, I just wanted to make a quick video about my plugin. The plugin is called CraftArrows and it allows you to craft different types of arrows. The reason I made this was that all the other arrow plugins, you have to like left click and then it chooses an arrow for you. And I thought that's kind of cheating because on my server I want people to waste their resources crafting really awesome arrows. Alright, now before I show you all those crafting receipts, please do remember you can all change them in the config file. And at the end of the video I'm gonna go over the config file. Okay, now to the different types of arrows. First off, I'm gonna start with the lightning arrow. You put your blaze rods like that, put the arrow in the middle, and you get a lightning arrow. And surprisingly, when you shoot it at something or just anywhere, it's gonna strike a lightning. Whoa, what a surprise. So, something awesome about this is, for example, let's shoot that chicken first. If you know how in Minecraft when lightning strikes a pig, well, same thing happens here. Next one, the shuffle arrow. And this is actually one of the two teleport arrows. Let's just do the teleport arrow at the same time. For the teleport arrow, you actually put 2 obsidian and the book in the middle, and then the arrow, and you get a teleport arrow. For the shuffle arrow, it's just 8, what's it called, gold nuggets. Okay, so let's just do the teleport arrow first. So if you hit anywhere and it teleports you there, pretty easy, right? It's actually pretty useful if you get stuck somewhere and you can just shoot it and it hits somewhere and you teleport it out. Now the difference with the shuffle arrow is, instead of, if you hit it on the ground, nothing's gonna happen. Like, it's just, you can shoot anywhere, nothing's gonna happen. But if you, let's just shoot that cow over there. If you shoot, why didn't that hit you? Oh, there we go. Like, do you see the cow is now over there and I'm over here, so it shuffles position with whoever you hit. That could be a player or an entity, just anything, it doesn't really matter. And this is different from the teleport arrow, because if you hit someone with the teleport arrow, obviously nothing's gonna happen. Let's just do the TNT arrow first. So the TNT arrow, you just put 1 TNT in 1 arrow, and it's pretty easy. This one is a really light TNT arrow. When you hit something or just a cow, yeah, it's gonna explode. And it doesn't, you can see it doesn't do any block damage. Like, I can shoot that at the tree and nothing's gonna happen. So yeah, this is pretty easy if you have like a server where you don't want stuff to get griefed by arrows. You could just only enable that one. So now for the bigger TNT arrow, you actually put 2 TNT here and gunpowder like that, and it gives you an explosive arrow. This one is more destructive. You can change how destructive it is in the config file, but I kind of put it really high now for just to show you. Yeah, for some reason. This is actually pretty nice. Ow. But yeah, it just destroys stuff really fast if you're not careful with it. Alright, now let's go for the poison arrow. You just put 2 spider eyes like that and an arrow, and you get a poison arrow. And when you poison stuff, well, not the pig zombie obviously, because in Minecraft how poison works is that I think zombies, pig zombies, and just certain other monsters, they just don't get affected at all. Let's just spawn a pig. Right, so I spawned this pig and obviously it got poison on it. And you know how poison works, it doesn't kill stuff, so it's just gonna die with 1 hit. Right, next up would be, let's do the crippling arrow. You just put 4 rotten flesh like that, snowballs like that, and you get a crippling arrow. Yeah, so let's just spawn a, what are we gonna spawn? Let's just spawn a spider, they're pretty fast. So yeah, as you can see, it's pretty dang slow. Oh crap. Yeah, it still can jump, but that's just spiders, it's gonna jump at you. But it's still pretty slow. But yeah, you can also change how slow and how fast it is. You can change the power of it, so anything. Alright, next up would be the, I think, weakness arrow. Should be. Yeah, weakness arrow. So yeah, I think I have to go into survival mode for that. I just kill one of those first. Alright, now you should... oh, dang it. That didn't work. Well, the damage shouldn't be too bad. What it does is it just decreases the damage they do. It's really not that much. But yeah. Oh, dang it, alright, I'm in survival mode, I already shot the arrow. But yeah, it just decreases the damage they do. Die, zombie. Okay. Next up would be the blinding arrow. Again, you put it like that, and you get a blinding arrow. And this is actually not the most useful thing on mobs, so I'm just gonna shoot myself with it. And yeah. The duration isn't too terribly long because I only set it up to be like 1.5 seconds, something like that. But yeah, you can... yeah, okay, I already shut that again. But you can see, it just blinds your vision. Next one would be the confusion arrow. And for that you put 2 mushrooms like that, and 3 more like that. And you put an arrow in the middle. And you're getting confusion arrow. And again, this is not too terribly useful mobs. It does show some effect, both of them, but I can just shoot myself again. And yeah, you can... yeah, well, the effect is not too long. You probably have to set it higher for it to actually make a difference. But what it does is your screen starts to wobble like when you enter a portal. Again, you can change how long and... well, you can't change how powerful it is because it only has 1 power level. But yeah, you can change how long it affects you, and with that confusion effect, the longer it affects you, the more wobbling appears on your screen. And yeah, I think that was all the arrows, so let's go to the config file now. Alright, so here you can see the config file, the default config. And the first 10 configs, they're just... you can enable or disable any arrow you don't want. So if you just don't want your users... like if you don't want certain users to use them, you just put in the permissions. But if you want to disable crafting of the arrow and then therefore using of the arrow altogether, you can just put false and it won't even load that arrow, so it's not gonna work. However, if you give your users permission for CraftArrows.all and you previously had one of those enabled, so let's say you run your server for half a month and you have all of them enabled and people start crafting them, and then at one point someone grieves something with TNT and you at one point you're like, oh god, I have to disable that arrow, and you just put here false. People won't be able to craft new ones, but if they still have the permission for it, any arrows they previously made, they can still shoot them, so you have to be careful there. So next let's go to one of the receipts. Basically what you can change here is if you want to, you can change crippling arrow. It's just a description of the arrow. If you, for example, want to call it slowing arrow, or I don't know, you have a German or French server and you just want to name them accordingly, you can just change that, and it's going to affect all the arrows that were previously crafted. So if anyone has crafted the crippling arrow before, it's not gonna work. Like the existing arrows are not gonna work anymore. They're just gonna act like normal arrows. Alright, now for any arrow that has a potion effect on it, like crippling, weakness, there's gonna be duration and power. Duration basically means how long the effect will stay on the player or the entity. So this is in ticks. 20 ticks is 1 second. So for this it would be 3 seconds. If you want it to last 100 seconds, you would have to put it like 2000 ticks. Alright, power, it's just the power level. So for example, if you would throw out a potion of slowness, is it called like that? Yeah, I think so. Potion of slowness 2, it would be power level 2. I think you can make it greater than the vanilla potion power, but I haven't tested that. But I think you can just, you could probably change it to like 50 and it will slow down people to crawl. Alright, now for the receipts, it's kind of a bit more complicated. Basically, let's just go for easy one first, where it's just 3. Here, for example, for the lightning arrow, you only have 3 ingredients. You have your blaze rods right here, you have the arrow, and you have null. Null is basically just an empty slot. You have to be careful with that. If you have empty slots in your receipt, it has to be listed last. So always your last shape character, it has to be associated to the null value. So basically, you have your shape 1, and that is going to be the top of your crafting table. So the top first 3 rows of your crafting table, it's going to be those 3 letters. Then layer 2 is obviously the middle layer, and then layer 3 is obviously the bottom layer. And what it does is, you define your shape character. So let's say shape character A represents a blaze rod, shape character B represents the arrow, and shape character C is obviously an empty slot. So now you can, if you want it to be blaze rod in the middle, blaze rod in the bottom middle, and in the very middle you put an arrow, you assign empty slot left, empty slot right, blaze rod in the middle, here empty slot, arrow, empty slot, blaze rod, empty slot. And that's just how it works. And for example, if you wanted to go a bit more complicated and say you want 4 ingredients, in this case I have rotten flesh, arrow, a snowball, and obviously an empty slot. So let's say A is the rotten flesh, B is the arrow, C is the snowball, and D is obviously the empty slot. So now I can put my rotten flesh here on the left side of the crafting receipt, then rotten flesh on the right side of the crafting receipt, and in the middle it's empty. Then I put a snowball left, a snowball right, and the arrow in the middle. And this is just the same as the first row. So you could potentially use 9 different shape characters, so up to E, and then up to I, and then just go for different shape materials, like 9 different shape materials. And yeah, so that therefore you could, like, if you wanted, for example, let's just say you want I don't know, let's just say you're gonna add, we're gonna add dirt. So we're gonna add dirt. So now A is the rotten flesh, D is now dirt, because we have to be careful of the null value. So let's say you want those two, the upper one to be dirt, and you want this one to be empty. So now your receipt changed from just rotten flesh, empty, rotten flesh, snowball, arrow, snowball, rotten flesh, empty, rotten flesh. It changed the first row changed to rotten flesh, dirt, rotten flesh. So that's just how you can do it. Now there's a few more things I want to talk about, especially explosive. You can the default power value is 2. If you set it to 0, obviously it's not going to do any explosion, and if you set it to greater than like 10, it's going to create really big explosions, so you have to be careful with that. And yeah, I think that's it. So if you're having any troubles, be careful. This you're not allowed to use tabs. You have to use spaces. You can see there's a space everywhere, and if it's throwing out arrows after you change your crafting receipt or anything in the config, make sure that after your values or anything here, you cannot put spaces after your values, so you have to be careful that there's nothing there. Alright, so that part covers the config tutorial. I hope you have a lot of fun with my plugin, and if you have any suggestions or bugs that you want to report, just post in the thread. Thanks.